Okay, let's look at the second page of The Sound of Silence. I mentioned in the email with page 2 that it really would be good if you could find a way to send me an occasional video or some type of sound recording of you playing these new songs. And, we looked at Georgia also, just so I can hear how you're doing. And a video would actually be better if you can do what I'm doing. This way I could see if there's some fingerings or whatever that I could talk to you about. Anyway, so I'm coming off of page 1. The last measure of page 1, we're doing the C chord back to the G chord. Got me there? Okay, now I'm going on to page 2. So the first thing I have is the 2 open G strings, which I don't need to move my hand at all to play. Now when I go to this next chord, which is a C chord, I didn't put that on the page if you want to note that. Okay, it's pretty simple because we're in the right position. All I have to do is bring my first finger up to the C on the 3rd fret of the A string and bring my pinky down to the 5th fret of the B string. So I'm going from this to this. So you want to keep in mind the simplicity of that and try to make it a pretty small move. So I'm on that G chord. I play the 2 G strings. Then I drop down into the C chord, and you'll notice, so I have an X on the D string. I'm kind of kicking out the D string with my first finger here. It's just wrapping a little so that the D string there, if you can see that moving, so that doesn't sound. So once again, coming off the G, going to that C chord, then I play it again, then I just slide that up, and then I slide again, but when I slide again, I'm going to be keeping my pinky on the B string all throughout this section, but then I drop my middle finger onto the 7th fret, where it says 7, 0, 8 in that next measure. Okay? And then we just go back 5 and 7, back to 3 and 5, and then back to the G chord. So playing through that section again, starting at the beginning of that page, I have the 2 G notes. Then I drop down to the C chord. Then I just slide up. And again. And then back. And then back to the G chord. I keep my hand on that G chord. I play the next 2 notes, the open E and the D. Now when I go to that next chord, the E minor 7, all I have to do is slide these 2 fingers down, strum down to the B string. So going to the beginning of that second line again, I'm on the G chord, and I pick the next 2 notes, and I just slide down. Then I slide back up, play the G. So that's that measure. I play the low G note, and then I strum the next 3 strings, and then the 2 Gs, and then I go to the D. Now the way you want to grab this D, I should have put the names of the chords above that, but on the last line the first chord is D if you want to note that. I have these 2 fingers I'm not using, so I'm going to use those 2 fingers to get that D chord, the 2nd and the 3rd frets, like that. And I want to do it that way. This way I have one of these fingers free to play that 4th fret. So I strum that D. Then I can use my ring finger to play that 4th fret. And then I go to the E minor. So I'm going to go back to that D chord. One more time with another thought. So if you decide you want to play that 4th fret with your pinky, Then you can just slide that down for that final chord. Okay, I'm going to go back to the top of the page again. So we're coming off the first page that ends on the G chord. Then I have the 2 G notes. Going to the C. Sliding up. Back to the G chord. Open 3. Slide down to the E minor. Back up to the G, using these 2 fingers. I'm going to use my pinky this time for that 4th fret, and then just slide down to that final chord. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just play it slowly in time. So I'm coming off that G chord on the previous page. 2, 3, 2, 3. 4. Okay, so that'll get you started on that. Later I'll make a video recording of the entire song all put together. So let me know that you got this stuff and that it's working for you, and we'll pick it up from there. Have a good one.